All right, nerds. It is apparently a surprise stream. I wasn't sure if we are going to be able to do anything this week for news, and here we are doing things for the news. So, no real housekeeping stuff to get out of the way or anything like that. Just let's see if I can pull up the chat. Nope, nothing. As per usual, it is a little bit of a, hey, we're going live. Hey, everything looks like it's up to date. Rock and roll. Okay, cool. So it worked a little bit better this time than it has previously. Light's a little bright in my face, but it is what it is. We're just going to roll with it. Oh, I don't have my accent light on, though. Did it get unplugged? It must have got unplugged. Whatever. We're going to go, again, roll without it because last minute stream, not a whole lot of planning here, just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. So let's get nuts, shall we? We're going to start off things by not going to that. We actually want to go to... I'm going to check out the sponsor for the channel. Today's sponsor, as per usual, is DUBBY. Let me pull up the DUBBY promo code right there in the bottom left of your screen. Promo code is GenerallyNerdy at checkout. Get you 10% off. Let's take a look at the things that DUBBY has for you. There is a Chainsaw Man... what is the word I'm looking for? Official licensed energy drink. Chainsaw Man, orange, bleeding orange Chainsaw Man stuff. New movie just came out, so there you go, cross promotion. Haven't tried that one. Can't speak to its flavor. I have tried this one. I'm almost out, and I got to order more. And that's the s'mores. It's super freaking tasty. Cannot stress enough how, like, surprisingly good that is, like dangerously good. Also, my new second favorite, maybe third favorite, I don't know, I've got all three of them right now, is the Tiger's Blood. Tiger's Blood is strawberry, coconut, watermelon, and I think those are the main flavors. I feel like there's something else in the mix, but either way, super yummy. I like to mix that one with fruity protein flavors. And then the old Die Hard is the Calio Cream. This is the one that I got first. This is the one that I've got the most. So yeah, absolutely super love it. If you are a orange cream fan like myself, then you will absolutely dig that one. The other one that I've tasted from them is the Push and Punch. Really good if you like the fruit punch flavor. Every now and then I get a fruit punch itch, and it totally scratches it. Why is DUBBY different? DUBBY has nootropics. DUBBY has all of the tasty things that make your brain function very well. You've got L-taurine, L-tyrosine, L-glutamate, L-citrulline. There's two different kinds of caffeine. So you have artificial lab-created caffeine, which hits you faster, and then you have the natural green tea caffeine, which stays in your system a little bit longer, so it burns off slower, so you don't have the caffeine crash. No sugar, so there's no sugar high, no maltodextrin, no artificial dyes, flavors. All the bad things that you don't want in there are not in there. And then a couple of extra good things you didn't realize you wanted in there, those are in there too. So check out DUBBY. Super awesome that they do the thing. Also, check out the merch store, which you can find linked down below. The newest design, the one that I love the most right now, is the Music Nerd, the Phantom Music Nerd shirt. Let's pull it. Oh, come on, pull up. Why are you not cooperating? There we go. So this is the Phantom Nerd shirt. I love it. I'm super proud of this design. On the back, it looks like that. Just a little logo for you. The other one that I thought I was super clever with, but I don't know, maybe you don't agree, is the Confused Millennial design. It's a Scooby toilet, right? That's what the kids are saying these days, is Scooby toilet. So yeah, again, pretty proud of myself on that one, though. Mock me all you want in the comments or in chat if there's, I don't know if anybody's joined us yet, because, oh hey, we do have a viewer right now. That's pretty awesome. What's up, Chris? How are you doing today, boss? Um, we are let's all right. So that's all of the things. Go support the channel. Do all of the stuff. If you get a Dubby tub or you want to try one of these, you can do the taster packs and all that stuff, starter kits they call them. I get a little bit of a kickback, you get pretty awesome stuff. Dubby sells product, it's a win-win there. Also, you can, just get some super unique nerdy merch if you go check out the merch store. Once again, link down below. I think I'm super clever. So there. Let's get into news bits though, because I honestly, the last 5 days have been bonkers in my personal life. So this is almost like bringing things down to normal for me. So let's check this. Oh no, first thing. Well, I mean, this was the one that I kind of sort of have already heard a little bit about, but this already is catching my eye. Oscars campaign for Superman. Like, don't get me wrong, Superman was fun, but really, sorry, still getting over whatever the hell I had 2 weeks ago. It's driving me nuts. But I am doing fantastic, Chris. Thank you very much for asking, bud. Checking stats. All right, let's get into the news. Let's read the things. Warner Brothers Discovery is officially mounting an Oscars for Your Consideration campaign for Superman, James Gunn's first film in the new DCU. A for your consideration campaign is this is TLDR apparently, is the film industry's way of promoting a movie to Academy members, essentially a pitch for award recognition. Studios spend millions on screenings, ads, and special events and remind voters which titles they think deserve nominations. If you don't do a for your consideration campaign, odds are you won't be nominated for a thing. That's my only little insertion. I don't know what exactly we could be looking for Oscar nods for Superman. Like, technical, it did look pretty good. It was less of a CGI mess than most modern superhero movies, but is that Oscar worthy though? Continuing on, the campaign makes it clear that Warner Brothers views Superman as an awards contender, not just a blockbuster. It also doesn't mean said film will win an Oscar or even be nominated. Yes, that is worth noting for sure. This is also funny if you're as old as I am and have been sailing the seven seas as long as I have. When it comes to your content, this used to be a way that, I mean, I'm sure it still is. I haven't honestly been in the seven seas game as long or recently as much, but this used to be a fantastic way to get movies early, especially around about this time of year when they started these for your consideration campaigns. And it was really funny because, like, it would scroll across the bottom that this is just a screener for Oscars consideration and stuff. Yeah, it always made me chuckle a bit. Anyway, so continuing on, Warner Brothers has recommended Superman for the following 16 categories. Wow. Okay. Sure. We have Best Picture, producers Peter Safran, James Gunn. Best Director, James Gunn. Best Adapted Screenplay, James Gunn. Best Actor, David Cornsweet. Again, he did a fine job, but really Oscar-worthy. Supporting actress, Rachel Brosnahan and Isabel Merced. Supporting actor, Nicholas Hoult, Edie Gathegi, Anthony Carrigan, and Nathan Fillion. I mean, I loved Nathan Fillion in it. Nicholas Hoult, maybe. But the rest of, oh man, this is really a stretch. Best casting, John, whatever. Cinematography, Henry Braham. I could see that when the cinematography was pretty good. Like, that's almost worthy. Film editing, absolutely not. Nope. Best production design. Again, on the technical side of things, it makes a little bit more sense. Set director, production designer, yeah, that's sure. Costume design, that's a bit of a stretch. Best makeup and hair, maybe. Best sound, sure. Again, technical stuff. We're really good at that stuff with the superheroes and the whatnot. Visual effects, that's the one I think might actually get a nomination. I don't know if it'll win for it. It probably won't win for it, but a nomination at least. Original song, the Mighty Crabjoy's theme. Nope. Yeah, studio's campaign copy describes the film. So studio campaign copy. What is copy? Copy is just written words, the things that they're giving to the Oscar the board members, people who vote for who is nominated. People who decide who gets nominated. That's the text that they're sending to these people. Describes the film as guided by human kindness in a world that sees goodness as old-fashioned. Superman is forced to reconcile his heritage as the Kryptonian Kal-El with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas, which challenges his selfless determination to use his power for good as humanity's protector. I mean, it's Superman, so whatever. For your consideration, screenings are also being held for people in the industry at Warner Bros. Studio in Burbank on November 5th and at the Directors Guild of America theaters on November 28th and December 25th. In addition to Superman, Warner Bros. Is also recommending One Battle After Another. Good Lord, that's probably going to get nominated because Leonardo DiCaprio and leftist politics. Sinners, Weapons, and a Minecraft movie. They're nominating Minecraft too. I mean, it sold a lot of tickets and it was super popular, but is it Oscar worthy? Like, this is why nobody watches the Oscars, because stuff like this. Sinners I can understand in certain respects. Weapons I can absolutely understand. Best probably original screenplay, I would imagine, is what they're going for there. Oscar history for Superman, that's interesting. I didn't realize it previously. It would make sense, I guess. The Donner movies were pretty good. So the article reads, the last Superman film to win an Academy Award was Donner's 78 Superman the movie, which earned a Special Achievement Oscar for visual effects, which makes sense. It was also nominated for Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, John Williams, and Best Sound. No other Superman film, including Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, has received an Oscar win. But that doesn't tell us about Oscar nominations. What makes Superman, yeah, whatever, the first movie that they're seriously pushing for an Oscar? Because they're desperate for the attention. That's what. Okay, this is the one that I had heard of previously. We're going to get into this real quick. We'll check on the things and the stuff. All right, so Disney officially exits Doctor Who deal after 2 seasons. Surprise, surprise. So, this is the news. Doctor Who and Disney Plus partnership is over. After months of speculation, BBC and Disney have confirmed that the co-production deal has come to an end following 2 seasons and 1 upcoming spin-off. Disney Plus will no longer be involved in producing or distributing Doctor Who going forward. So the rumors are true. We have confirmed that, in fact, all of the things that we were hearing about this are actually legit, because of course they are. It did abysmally. Is that Disney's influence, or is that just the BBC going crazy because they're not doing much better across the pond as far as social politics are concerned, or just like, economic stances are concerned either? But BBC officially announced that Doctor Who will return for a Christmas special in 2026, written by current showrunner Russell T Davies. The special will be produced by Bad Wolf in partnership with BBC Studios. While details of future seasons are not yet finalized, the BBC said more information will be revealed in due course and made clear that the franchise will continue without Disney. No kidding. Lindsay Salt, director of drama, BBC, thanked Disney Plus for being, quote, terrific global partners and collaborators, unquote, over the past 2 seasons, and noted that the upcoming spinoff, The War Between the Land and the Sea, will still air as planned, though after that, it's absolutely dead. We'd like to thank Disney Plus for being terrific global partners and collaborators over the past 2 seasons and for the upcoming war between the land and sea, Salt said in a statement. The BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we are delighted that Russell T Davies has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. We can assure fans the Doctor is not going anywhere. We will be announcing plans for the next series in due course, which will ensure the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC. But like that doesn't address any of the actual issues they had while at Disney and how they're going to avoid them going forward. But I mean, they're just ostriches at this point with their heads in the sand. Deal covered 26 episodes, including the spinoff. The now concluded deal between the BBC and Disney Plus covered a total of 26 episodes, 2 main seasons of Doctor Who, and the war between the land and the sea. Production was reported to cost around £10 million, which is roughly $13.3 million US dollars per episode. Wow, that's pretty expensive. So, £260 million for the entire deal is what it cost to produce. Thanks to Disney's financial backing. Despite big-name guest stars and splashy production values, Doctor Who struggled to meet expectations in both the UK and the US. Ratings have underperformed, and the series did not make significant inroads in the Disney Plus platform, particularly in North America. Nakuti Gatwa quiet exit, and franchise uncertainty. Tensions around the show's future had grown throughout the year. Star Nakuti Gatwa departed as the 15th Doctor under murky circumstances, later citing burnout from 2 seasons. He got burnt out from 2 seasons. I think he was just looking for an out. The season finale featured regeneration twist involving Billie Piper's Rose Tyler, but fans and insiders alike were unclear on what it meant for the franchise. We went over that in depth when it happened. I don't think there's anything else to add to the conversation, aside from the fact that we are vindicated because we now know that it's dead in the water. All right. Supergirl reshoots, adding more to... all right, so we'll have different commentary for this, I think. Following report from July that more of Jason Momoa's Lobo is being added into Supergirl after impressing Warner Brothers execs. A new claim now says the movie is undergoing major reshoots, this time to include Cornsweat's Superman. Define major, because like reshoots are kind of the way of things, with Warner Brothers getting in over their heads as far as like trying to maintain the DCU. It's a major would be like they're heading in one direction, they're trying to get one thing done. Halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, something dramatic changes, something dramatic happens, and they have to completely alter course. Is that the case, or is the more likely scenario that they're adding a few scenes to maybe flesh out a subplot better? Because I would imagine they're not changing the major course of the story arc. They're just adding a couple of things so that they can do some fan servicey stuff to try and sell more tickets. A lot of people want to see Jason Momoa as Lobo. We've wanted that for a long, long time, since it was originally rumored like 4 years ago or whatever the hell. 3 years ago, maybe. So that seems to stand to reason a little bit more than major reshoots. Like, this is probably slightly more than moderately significant reshoots, but I can't say major is an accurate descriptor of this, just because like we're pretty far out from release date anyway. Like, I'm sure it has it at the bottom here. Supergirl hopes for better box office. It doesn't say when. I thought it would. It usually does. What the hell, guys? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll finish reading the article, but yeah, that it just seems like a clickbaity kind of way to phrase things. The rumor comes from known scooper Daniel Rickman, who suggests corn sweat is being added into the film. All right, so I mean that's kind of more fair, because if he wasn't originally in the film at all and now they're adding him in, maybe they're adding a subplot for him, that seems slightly more fair to categorize it as major, but only slightly. I still don't know that I would quantify that as major, which could signal a significant story change. I don't know that it does. I feel like this is wishful thinking on the part of this article's author. Superman costume pulled from studio tour, adding fuel to the speculation. Fans noticed that the Superman costume on display at Warner Brothers Studios tour was recently removed. In its place, a sign now reads, Superman costume currently being used by production. While some fans thought it was for Man of Tomorrow, that doesn't start filming until next spring. Also, I guess that's probably still in pre-production. I was going to say the new Batman movie, but we haven't even gotten a script for that yet, so don't listen to me. I'm full of the poops. Timing lines up with these new reshoot rumors, and strongly suggest Corn Sweat is suiting up again, this time for Supergirl. Maybe it's just a stinger at the end, guys. Like, she had a stinger in his movie. Maybe he's got a stinger in her movie. Like, originally, Supergirl was thought to be set entirely in space, but bringing in Corn Sweat Superman might mean a structural shift. This is all based on rumor and conjecture, so we can't say that. Can't say that this is. Where the hell are we going right now? Can't say objectively that this is major reshoots. It's possible that Gunn and director Craig Gillespie are adding bookend scenes, placing Superman at the beginning and or end of the film to connect it more. That seems more likely. Again, I don't know that this is easily quantifiable as major. What was previously reported, Jason Momoa's Lobo is also getting more screen time in the film. So at this point, it seems clear Warner Brothers is adding more testosterone to the female-led superhero film, just as was said in the previous report from Comic-Con. Yes, we covered that when it happened. Female-led comic book films keep failing. Yeah, that's fair. It's not hard to guess why recent female-led comic book movies like Madam Web, The Marvels, and even Birds of Prey all bombed at the box office. Whether due to storytelling, poor marketing, or heavy-handed messaging, the track record hasn't been great. I think the biggest culprit here is poor storytelling. They just are relying on the fact that it is female-led or female-focused or whatever the hell female words you want to use here. They're not using a strong story. They're saying, doesn't matter what the movie is doing, doesn't matter the story that we're telling. What matters is that it's full of women, and that's why you should care. And that's not why you should care. You should care because it tells a compelling story. You should care because it does something for you aside from give you good feels because you're supporting the matriarchy or however whatever version of that story you want to go with. Supergirl may face some challenges with divisive political messaging and poor reception to Peacemaker Season 2. It's clear that Gunn's DCU can't afford another flop. I didn't think Peacemaker Season 2 was terrible, but yes, they definitely ramped up the heavy-handed messaging, especially following reports that Superman itself failed to break even financially. Again, I don't know that there's anything that backs that statement up. We have seen some reports that would say it didn't do super great, but it did at least break even. So I feel like that's probably more appropriate, but that's still seen as a failure in the Hollywood machine to a certain degree, just not so much as if it didn't break even. So there's that. Warner Brothers Discovery Unstable Future. This is kind of the linchpin to this whole argument is, of course, all of this comes as Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns DC Studios, is being eyed for potential corporate sale. Possible buyers reportedly include Netflix, Paramount, Skydance. Paramount Skydance is the only one that has actually made any sort of bid. We've covered the fact that they've made 2 separate bids, and both bids have been shot down by David Zaslav, but so far, Paramount Skydance is the only entity that has actually been bidding on this. The other possibility here, and something we haven't talked about on the channel before, is theoretically they could dismantle certain elements of WB Discovery. Whether or not that is done at the hands of Zaslav or done at the hands of whoever is the initial purchaser definitely remains to be seen. But it sounds like there's been some rumblings of the possibility, and at the very least, this is more on the gaming side of things than on the movie side of things, but still, gaming is part of Warner Brothers Discovery. It sounds like there's a possibility that they're going to break off chunks of the company and sell those to make the overall viability of the company more attractive. So if Paramount buys it, the TLDR here, Paramount buys Warner Brothers, they then break off NetherRealm Studios and sell NetherRealm Studios to somebody else. Or theoretically, NetherRealm Studios could buy out their contract or whatever, however that works on that level of things. So they break off NetherRealm Studios. They could then also theoretically sell off the DC licenses to somebody else, which would then make all of the other Warner Brothers properties a little bit more viable as far as they're more time-tested, they're less volatile in the market right now. Just kind of seems like that would be a little bit more appealing if they had the option to do that. I don't know if they do or not. What impact this could have, then we're just ending the article. That's fine. Let's continue on. Zack Snyder keeps sharing photos. Blah, blah, blah. James Gunn's days are numbered. Okay. So this is the follow-up on something we talked about previously, in that the potential sell of Warner Bros. Discovery. And again, this plays into the idea of, if they break it off, this is potentially the way they do that, right? So following the report on Donald Trump making Superman great again, we kind of sort of talked about that previously. It's silly, but whatever. New reports confirm that what we told you, we being Cosmic Book News, weeks ago, the Trump administration is backing Paramount Skydance in the race to buy WB Discovery, parent company of DC, CNN, and HBO. According to the New York Post, Paramount Skydance, headed by David Ellison, son of billionaire Larry Ellison, longtime Trump ally, is now in the catbird seat as the administration weighs who will take control of the mega media giant. Senior Trump admin official told the Post, who owns Warner Bros. Discovery is very important to the administration. Why is it very important to the administration? You have so many more important things to be worrying about that this should not be very high priority. Official added that Warner Bros. Discovery Board needs to think very seriously, not just on the price competition, but which player in the suitor pool has been successful getting a deal done, and that points to the Ellisons. This comes just weeks after the reporting that Trump personally praised Larry and David Ellison, calling them, quote, friends and, quote, big supporters of mine. The Ellison-Skydance Paramount merger was already blessed by Trump earlier this year, and now it appears the same alliance could take over Warner Brothers Discovery. I mean, there are worse things. After rumored suitors Netflix, Amazon, and Comcast reportedly face significant regulatory barriers under Trump's DOJ and FCC, Apple is said to be in the mix too. This is one that we talked about when we originally started talking about this story, is Apple being one of the big ones. Apple and Paramount Skydance. WB CEO David Zaslav reportedly kicked off the sale process this week, with estimates placing the company's value at up to $80 billion, which is probably on a pretty slow but steady decline right now. The Post notes that Zaslav has already rejected 3 previous bids. Oh, we're up to 3 now, including a $23.50 per share offer. Deadline reported $24. But the next one may come as a hostile public bid appealing directly to shareholders. Industry observers say Zaslav is running out of leverage and allies as Trump's DOJ and FCC prepare to oversee the deal. One insider told the Post, Warner really needs to think very hard about the odds of success getting the deal cleared with players outside of Paramount Skydance. Interesting. Why it matters for DC and Superman, because this is where we're getting into the James Gunn of it all. Paramount Skydance wins. DC Studios and DC Comics will fall under Ellison's control. And with Trump's backing, the woke era at DC will come to an end. Is that true, though? Which we also expect will impact DC Comics. Like, yes, it's a very large shift. We've talked about this with Disney previously, about how there are signs that they're trying to steer things back into the favor of the actual fans and not just the people who are there protesting. But that's going to take a long time. Does that mean that the woke era of Disney is done? No, I don't think so. So I think it's a very similar situation here. I also don't think they're going to push super hard to change certain things about the way DC is run. I don't think that the diversity push is going to stop. I think maybe they'll stop race swapping and very potentially gender swapping characters, but that's not to say that they're not then just going to seek out existing characters, which is the argument that the community has been making this whole time. But that's not to say that they're not going to then seek out characters that already fit said race and gender check marks, whatever, to then try and focus on them. So I think there's going to be still some growing pains, even if the Ellisons do control WB Discovery. There's still going to be some growing pains. There's going to be a lot of adjustment. It's going to take a lot of time. So continuing on, where do we leave? Oh, we'll just skip to the next bit. David Ellison wants to put out good content and make money. As we reported earlier, we expect the Ellisons plan to restore, quote, truth, justice, and the American way to Superman and the rest of DC's superheroes. That's also likely spells an end for James Gunn's woke DCU, which has already faced backlash over the creative direction of Superman and especially Peacemaker, which mocked Jesus said our world is the equivalent of a Nazi-controlled universe. Reports also offer the Gunn's DCU has been a financial flop. So far, I feel like flop is a pretty harsh term in this context. I feel like it has been underperforming. I feel like it has been. I mean, if you're just saying flop because they haven't made all of their money back, that's probably fair. But if you're saying flop like it's an abysmal failure, I feel like that's just trying for clickbait. Been told James Gunn's time at DC is limited and that the Ellisons plan a full creative reset with Mike DeLuca in the best case scenario to take over DC Studios. Mike DeLuca is not a poor choice. So, just more evidence to the idea that Gunn is very probably on his way out. Superman tops Black Adam after full week on the Nielsen. There's that. Johnny Depp returns. Oh, I feel like I saw something about this the other day, too, when I was editing one of the clip episodes. So this will be interesting. Johnny Depp is officially back in the studio spotlight. Under the new leadership of Skydance's David Ellison, Paramount Pictures is set to produce Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol, with Johnny Depp starring as the infamous miser in a bold new take on the Charles Dickens classic. According to THR, Paramount is in final negotiations to pick up the project, which will be directed by horror filmmaker Ty West. Oh, that's super interesting. Ty West did the Pearl trilogy for A24, so X, Pearl, and Maxine. Or is it the X trilogy? I don't remember exactly what they call it. I just know it's those three movies, obviously, because it's highlighted here in the article. Studio is eyeing a November 13th, 2026 release date. That is a really quick turnaround if we're still in negotiations to pick up the project. That seems a little nuts. Andrea Riseborough joins Depp in the cast with the script written by Nathaniel Halpern. The film is described as, quote, a thrilling ghost story set in Dickens' London, following one man's supernatural journey to face his past, present, and future and fight for a second chance. THR makes a point of stating in the article, quote, it's the ghost from Hollywood's Christmas past, as Johnny Depp has returned in his biggest movie project yet since being ostracized during a contentious and ugly defamation lawsuit with ex-wife Amber Heard. Paramount Pictures, under the new leadership of David Ellison, is in final negotiations to pick up a new take on Charles Dickens' oft-adapted A Christmas Carol. Interesting. Oh, I didn't know they made Art of the Deal into a movie in 2016. That seems a little ridiculous. Anyway, project marks Depp's biggest studio comeback since being dropped from major franchises following his legal battles with ex-wife Amber Heard. One of the world's highest paid and most bankable stars, thanks to Pirates of the Caribbean, Alice in Wonderland, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Depp's Hollywood career hit pause after public defamation suits in both the U.S. and the UK. Which we talked about when it happened. If you don't remember that, there's plenty of people who made a living, actually, covering that whole fiasco. After being fired from Warner Brothers' Fantastic Beasts in 2020, Depp turned to European cinema, starring in Jean Dubarry, which performed at Cannes in 2023. In addition to Ebenezer, Depp recently wrapped Day Drinker from Lionsgate, a thriller set for release in 2026. Interesting. That one kind of flew under my radar, so that's cool that he's doing American work again. That's pretty awesome. Rumors continue to swirl that Disney could also bring Depp back as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates 6, signaling a full-scale Hollywood comeback that once seemed impossible. Good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so this one's been floating around for a while, but we're not going to talk about it because I really don't care. Aaron Pierre in DCU's Lantern, an enormous shoot, grand scale. Crime 101 trailer released. Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry. Taylor Sheridan's Landman. We covered that. Andy Muschietti on DCU Batman. We have to wait a couple of months. What is this one all about? Let's get into this. So Andy Muschietti, director of The Flash, says he'll have more to share about his DCU Batman movie soon, but his cautious answer suggests things might be on hold at Warner Brothers. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted right now. As Warner Brothers faces an imminent sale. All right. Speaking with Variety at the premiere of HBO Max's Welcome to Derry, Muschietti and his producing partner and sister, Barbara Muschietti, were asked about the status of Batman Brave and the Bold, which was announced in 2023 as part of James Gunn's DCU. Oh, pooey. That's not what I wanted. There. Huzzah. Where do we leave off? James Gunn's DC. So the intention is yes, but we can't talk about it, Barbara said when asked if the film was still happening. And Andy added, we have to wait a couple of months starting with this to start talking about it. He then caught himself saying, I screwed it already. That offhand comment immediately fueled speculation that the project's future may be uncertain, likely tied to the pending Warner Brothers Discovery sale that could see new ownership take over by mid-2025. I feel like we're past mid-2025 at this point, aren't we? As previously reported, James Gunn's DCU Batman is not expected to move forward until after Matt Reeves' film The Batman Part 2 happens in 2026. That means if The Brave and the Bold happens, it wouldn't begin production until 2027. That's not true. Because if Batman Part 2 comes out in 26, that means we could go into pre-production and then theoretically into proper production also in 2026 for Brave and the Bold. Same year, James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow releases, and after DC contract expires. As we went over, it appears as if most of Gunn's DCU is currently on hold pending the studio's sale. Again, we're really, really riding this. I've gotten a little bit of flack in the comment section from that, but legitimately, this is a lot that's hanging in the balance here. Projects like Sergeant Rock and Swamp Thing have already been delayed, and there's growing concern inside Warner Brothers about Gunn's creative direction following the poor reception to Peacemaker Season 2 and the underwhelming performance of Superman. See, that's better than calling it a flop, I think. Muschietti's, quote, couple of months remark likely isn't about development timelines. It's about waiting for corporate clarity. Yes. All right. We've kind of drilled that one into our heads at this point. Anne Rice celebration set for New Orleans this November 1st. That's cool. We'll cover this just because Anne Rice deserves it. Anne Rice will be honored with a major event in her hometown of New Orleans this fall. Anne Rice and All Saints Day celebration takes place November 1st, 2025. So just a few days from now. At the historic Orpheum Theater, the immersive celebration will pay tribute to the late author's life and legacy through theatrical, musical, and cinematic performances. More than 12,000 fans are expected to, 1,200 rather, expected to attend. The event will be filmed and streamed for free later this year on AnneRice.com, allowing fans around the world to take part. That's really cool. Born in New Orleans in 1941, Anne Rice became one of the world's most recognized voices in supernatural and historical fiction. Her 36 novels have sold more than 150 million copies, starting with her 1976 debut, Interview with the Vampire. Her body of work includes Vampire Chronicles, The Mummy, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, Wolf Gift Chronicles, and her final collaboration with her son, Christopher Rife, Ramses the Dam, The Reign of Osiris in 2022. Oh! I am apparently a little bit behind on my Anne Rice. I did not know that was... Yeah, that's cool. Rice passed in 2021 and was laid to rest at Metairie Cemetery. Her influence continues through countless adaptations to the devoted fan base with that spans generations. Abso-freaking-lutely. And the new season of The Vampire Chronicles on AMC looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, Talamasca apparently just started, and I have yet to watch any of that. So if you have seen it, definitely let me know if it's any good in the comments, because I really like what they're doing with the Vampire Chronicles on the Interview with the Vampire show, which is now becoming the Vampire Lestat in season 3. But upcoming celebration fulfills promise made by Christopher Rice, Anne's son and best-selling author himself, to give fans a proper farewell. The event will feature a stage production and the premiere of a new documentary anthology, including never-before-seen interviews with Anne's family, friends, and collaborators. Performers include New Orleans' own Irma Thomas, known as the Soul Queen of New Orleans, Mary Fall, the former lead designer of October Project, and Broadway veteran Carolee Carmelo, who starred in Elton John's Lestat musical based on Anne's work. I totally forgot that was a thing. That's kind of funny. I remember it now, but I totally forgot that was a thing. Simply put, there would be no Anne Rice without New Orleans, Christopher Rice said. No other city could host a celebration of my mother in this grand scale and with this much authentic flavor. Yes, New Orleans is definitely the place to get that done. I have all those. Yay! Those are good ones. In order, even. Body Thief. Memnock is probably my favorite. Armand is good, but Memnock is probably my favorite. Anyway. Close collaborators. The event is being produced by Dinner Partners LLC, co-owned by Christopher Rice and Eric Shaw Quinn, both of whom were close to Anne, of course, Christopher's her son, duh, and frequent collaborators. The two also managed Dinner Party Show Network, which often hosted Anne Rice's exclusive announcements and interviews. As curators of her literary estate, Diner Partners is continuing her legacy through new projects inspired by her dark, romantic worlds. Stories live on. This is kind of the... We have fans continue exploring Anne Rice's universe through AMC's ongoing adaptations known as the Immortal. There we go. That's what I meant. The Immortal Universe. Connected franchise includes Interview with the Vampire, Vampire Lestat, Mayfair Witches, which just finished airing season 2, I think like a month or two ago. Upcoming Talamasca, The Secret Order, which is first episode has already released, and expanding her gothic mythology for a new generation. Yes, it's totally worth a watch. There are a couple of things that after the first few episodes of the Interview with the Vampire series, you totally get over. This is just a different version of Anne's universe. It's not the same universe, that is for sure. Don't get it twisted, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun. So, Kugler's Sinners is back in theaters. That one's relatively old as well. Don't care about Kripke's. The interesting thing about, all right, I guess we can get into this just for the topic conversation starter that it should be. The interesting thing about The Boys is the same thing that I've brought up a couple of times for other very lefty kind of art projects, Hollywood projects that we've seen in recent years. Specifically, I'm thinking of the fourth Matrix movie. Oh God, what was the other one that just happened that it was like, I don't think you understand the message you're actually putting out versus the message you think you're putting out. It might have been, honestly, The Boys season 3. Or season 4, whatever. But like, they yeah, I really think it might have been the last season of The Boys. They try and paint this image of what they think conservatives are, what they think people who support Trump are, what they think Trump is. And in so doing, A, they reveal their ignorance because by and large, they're very much wrong. And B, they make the point for the other side. More specifically, with The Matrix and to a lesser degree, The Boys, the Matrix was supposed to be a story, specifically the fourth movie, and less so. There was allegory that was scaled back, we'll say, for the original trilogy. As reported, the Wachowskis said that they had this idea that they were shot down by the studio, that they wanted it to be about they wanted to be some sort of transitional element of the story. They wanted it to be a trans story to some degree. In the fourth movie, I forget which Wachowski it was that actually made it. I think it was Lana, who was formerly Larry, if I'm remembering correctly. In the fourth movie, it was supposed to be the actualization of said trans story. When, if you watch the movie, it breaks down life in the Matrix into a binary. It mandates that there has to be two. Neo and Trinity have to be the ones that unlock the Matrix. It is very much a binary. So like they just totally are missing their own plot. I think this was a big thing with The Boys. Again, I'm only remembering broad strokes for season 4, but I'm pretty sure we had this same conversation where it was like, no, that's not what is actually being portrayed on the screen. I understand where you're trying to take it, but in so doing, you're saying the quiet part out loud, and you're making the point for the side you don't agree with. So I think we're just going to get more of that, because this authoritarian regime that they think we are living under is much more accurately described as what they espouse should be happening. It's just they don't like the way that certain elements of politics are being implemented, and so because they disagree with it, that means it's not good. Whereas when the other side is making the similar arguments, it's not that they don't disagree. It's not that they don't agree with it. It's that they see the hypocrisy and the holes. I don't know. It's to speak about it on such esoteric terms. is slightly difficult because I'm starting to lose the metaphor. But either way, it's going to be really interesting to see how he tries to fully turn this into a resistance storyline against Trump, or a Trump-like figure, because he's trying to paint Homelander as this Trumpian figure in the world of his version of The Boys. I don't think he's accomplishing that very well. He's the Homelander is the product of a fatherless household by and large, so that's already not accurate. He is there's so much there. My brain is starting to hurt that I'm spending so much time on this, but resistance against the fascist government. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we're not going to spend any more time on that. Let's just continue on. Brie Larson out of Avengers Doomsday. No Ironheart either, apparently. Again, not so awesome. Let's go to Bounding. Oh, we still have... I did not realize that. So sorry. That's probably super visually distracting. All right. Oh, interesting. All right, let's get into this. This is a follow-up to what we were talking about. This was a little while ago when HBO Max offloaded a bunch of Looney Tunes stuff. It wasn't 100% of the Looney Tunes stuff, but it was a vast majority of it. So this is a follow-up to that. Dumped by HBO Max, Looney Tunes is a hit on new home Tubi. The unceremonious removal of Warner Brothers Animation's iconic staple Looney Tunes from the HBO Max library was justifiably seen as a mistake by most. Now that the plurality of detractors is being proven right by by the most recent development for Bugs Bunny and his merry band of melodies. They were evicted from the streaming Warner lot, but when free streamer Tubi came knocking, possibly asking, "What's up, Doc?" Oh, good Lord, with the puns. The cartoons found a new home, and wouldn't you know it, feathering their nest there like Tweety feathers, his cage has become mutually beneficial. Tubi's acquisition head Samuel Horowitz announced in a Vulture piece that HBO Max's loss is their gain, as the Looney Tunes are, quote, a huge win, unquote, for the platform. The shorts place in the top 10 best performing series and, moreover, perform well again across generations and demographics. Because of this, Tubi hopes they can hold on to their over 700 shorts now in the service, which are in HD, although out of order. The restorations were done by animation historian Jerry Beck, who is okay with Warner's letting go of their crowning creation. Really? I'm kind of glad, this is apparently a quote from Beck, I'm kind of glad Warner Bros. Discovery took them off HBO Max and allowed other networks to use them so we can all see them. That's fair. All right, that's a fair take. Ideally, Tubi wants to keep the tunes around for quite a while, likely years. Negotiations are active and ongoing, with potential for them to be the home of the new content, including a Coyote versus Acme, which is that movie that's been stuck in development hell for, I think we're going on 4 years now. It's been done, and they have put it on the shelf for, I'm pretty sure it's been close to 4 years at this point. However, the article continues. We'll have to wait and see on that one. The Scuttlebutt, the Scuttled film. Oh, yeah, okay. Scuttled film, which was acquired by Ketchup Entertainment, still has to make its release date next year. If it proves bankable, then it could become cornerstone content for HBO Max for years to come. The last Looney Tunes film to receive a theatrical release was The Day the Earth Blew Up, which we talked about in the That Just Happened a few months back, which finally came out earlier this year, and it's available to stream on Max. How long that will last is anyone's guess. Warner's actions the past few years strongly indicate they are happy to ignore and erase their past. That is not an inaccurate take on the situation, I must say myself. Netflix reportedly producing a Crash Bandicoot. Oh, that's interesting. We'll go there next. This one should be a quick one. Reports have indicated Crash Bandicoot will be getting an animated series for Netflix, with initial information pointing to Wild Brain Studios, who have worked on shows including Sonic Prime, Mega Man Fully Charged, and upcoming Minecraft series. Interesting. First time Manic Marsupial would have his own series outside of abandoned pilots and cameos. Huh. All right. That's fun. We don't need to read all of this. That seems like a lot of fluff. Chainsaw Man review. Frankenstein will be on Netflix as of November 7th, I believe, which is weird. Capcom says Street Fighter World Championships, world ticket prices, pay-per-view live streams necessary for esports growth. All right, so this is one of the things that we've kind of talked about recently. I think we specifically covered this in an episode fairly recently about the ridiculous prices for the Capcom Cup. So despite their introduction being met with widespread rejection from fans and players, Capcom has confirmed that paid admission to the upcoming Capcom Cups in-person and live streaming viewing events is here to stay, particularly as they're looking to put the funds derived from the Street Fighter World Championships towards growing their esports endeavors. Set to take place from March 11th to March 15th of 2026 at the Ryogoku Kokugikan. I am totally butchering those words, and I apologize. Stadium in Sumida, Tokyo. The 12th annual Capcom Cup will see 48 individual players from around the world, each competitor having earned their spot through Capcom Pro Tour Circuit, face off for the title of Street Fighter VI World Champion and $1 million cash prize. Simultaneously, the weekend will also play host to the Street Fighter League Championships, where the eponymous circuit's top teams from Japan and the United States and Europe compete to be the best team in the world, as well as their own cash prize of $200,000. In the past, while in-person tickets to these tournaments usually run for a fairly high price, their actual fights were always made available to budget-conscious players, not to mention content creators, via Twitch and YouTube live streams. And I'm remembering this as being, it looks like we get into that here in just a second. Anyway, but this year, not only will physical tickets see a bump in price, but said live streams will now be locked behind pay-per-view access. As confirmed on September 28th, in-person tickets for Capcom Cup group stage elimination rounds and the Street Fighter League qualifiers will run from 2,000 yen, which is approximately $13 US, for the bleachers, and up to 10,000 yen, approximately $60 US, for the venue's upper tier box seats, with prices doubling up on every tier, but the lowest for the weekend finals. The best bleacher spots jumping to 6,000 yen, approximately $40 US, and the aforementioned box seats up to 20,000 yen, $132 US. A general increase of 2,000 yen from the prices for the previous Capcom Cup. Meanwhile, Capcom Cup Group Stage and Street Fighter League qualifiers will be streamed for free on YouTube and Twitch. Finals will be offered as pay-per-view events. So in order to see who wins the overall competition, you're going to have to pay for it, either individually for $26 US approximate, or bundled together for approximately $40 US. Unfortunately, this initial reveal was met with both shock and a promise to investigate the situation by Street Fighter VI director Takayuki Nakayama. It seems his player-first sentiments ultimately had little sway over Capcom, who on October 26, so just a couple days ago, both reaffirmed the tournament's new pricing structure and provided their esports-based reasoning behind their decision. There's a better way to do this, but we'll read the quote, and then we'll get into the better way. Decision to introduce pay-per-view live streaming for Capcom Cup 12 and Street Fighter League World Championship 2025 stems from our commitment to promoting our esports business in a sustainable manner over the medium to long term. Our goal is to grow these tournaments into internationally competitive events by reinvesting and participating players and teams, our partners, and related business areas. We sincerely acknowledge the many opinions we have received from everyone and are carefully discussing the matter with all relevant parties. As a result, the coordination process is taking some time. So, I guess the quote goes on. My apologies. Continuing. Previously, we announced that the pricing details pay-per-view tickets would be shared in late October. We will provide this information as preparations are complete, and we kindly ask for your continued patience. Going forward, we will strive to provide clearer and more accessible updates regarding Capcom Esports through our official website, official social media channels, and explanations from our public relations representatives. That is the quote. So, drawing your statement to a close, Capcom additionally affirmed, quote, please note that pay-per-view ticket sales for the Street Fighter League Pro JP playoffs and grand finals will begin as scheduled on November 12th. So, the way that you can support your community, which theoretically is a better way to do this, you start to charge your sponsors a little bit more in order to sponsor your event. B, you have something in game, much like Mortal Kombat did it was Mortal Kombat X, I believe, with the Sub-Zero skin, who designed it? I can't even remember who designed it now. It's the same people who designed the Scorpion skin that you got with the collector's edition. Whoever that company is, they designed. There's an Ermac skin like it and a Sub-Zero skin. If you purchased the Sub-Zero skin, that went to supporting the professional Mortal Kombat League. So if you do that, you're already charging an arm and a leg for your skins. It's not quite as bad. Well, no. The selection is lower and the price is comparable to the Mortal Kombat skins, which are ridiculously priced. So you're already charging a whole bunch of money for the skins in-game. You want to reallocate some of that money so it doesn't just line your coin purse and put that towards supporting your community. Then you can still theoretically... I mean, even if you have to do it for free through your website so that you can control the ads more directly than if you were to, say, broadcast it on Twitch or YouTube, it still makes more sense to do it for free because the community is so big and times are what they are as far as money goes. It would make more sense to get more sponsors in order to make up that difference, and then theoretically charge your sponsors more. And also, I understand trying to focus where your audience is paying attention to your product so that you can control the ads more directly and make more money, but putting it behind a paywall is very likely not going to do as well as you think it will. So that, I guess, is just my 2 cents, but I feel like that's more sound logic than what they're doing. Yeah. Let's just go to... Is this gaming? Sony says no. So we have Sony apparently not wanting to buy the gaming market, at the very least, from Warner Brothers Discovery. In a quote, thankfully, squashing any hopes for a Mortal Kombat versus The Last of Us or Harley Quinn meets Aloy. Sony CEO Hiroyuki Totoki has made it clear that despite the current opportunity, he has no interest in acquiring the now accepting offers from Warner Brothers Discovery. As announced by Warner Bros. Discovery on October 27th via an official press release, while the DC parent company was still actively pursuing, quote, its previously announced separation of Warner Brothers and Discovery Global, unquote, their board of directors has separately initiated a review of strategic alternatives to maximize shareholder value in light of unsolicited interest the company has received from multiple parties for both the entire company and Warner Brothers individually. Through this process, the Warner Bros. Discovery Board will evaluate a broad range of strategic options, which will include continuing to advance the company's planned separation to completion by mid-2026, the transaction for the entire company, or separate transactions for its Warner Brothers and or Discovery Global businesses. As part of the review, the company will also consider an alternative separation structure that would enable a merger from Warner Brothers and spinoff of... so it sounds like by this... the piecing of the Warner Brothers side of things is not really an option, at least not immediately. It seems like you either buy the entire company or you buy the split. We talked about the split when it was originally announced. Was that a little over a month ago that they were going to... No, it was probably 2-3 months ago at this point, actually. They're going to take Warner Brothers properties and group them into one company, and then take the Discovery Global properties and group them into a separate company, and then divest the two companies from each other. Continuing on, there is no deadline or definitive timetable set for completion of the strategic alternatives review process, other than the separation transaction that is already underway. There can be no assurance that this process will result in the company pursuing a transaction or other outcome. Warner Bros. Discovery does not intend to make any further announcements regarding the review of strategic alternatives unless and until the board approves a specific transaction or otherwise determines further disclosure is appropriate or necessary. American Institution and its vast portfolio of TV, film, blah, blah, blah. Not to mention now on the auction block, both fans and investors have unsurprisingly found themselves speculating as to which, quote, major players could potentially end up as the next stewards of such noble franchises as the DC Universe, Lord of the Rings, and even Harry Potter, and Mortal Kombat. Let's not forget that, shall we? To this end, during a recent interview with the aforementioned Totoki, Nikkei Asia respondent Rei Nakafuji inquired with the CEO as to whether or not Sony was looking to get in on the WB fire sale. Straightforward in his response, Totoki denied the possibility, telling his host, "We have no desire for a big merger and acquisition deals in the U.S. film industry right now." Fair. Spanning his disinterest, the CEO asserted, Sony Pictures Entertainment isn't a big platform company for which scale is everything, so it can create its own position even without becoming one of the top players. Before specifically identifying their anime operations, recent wins in this area include Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Infinity Castle, Spy X Family series, and the Solo Leveling adaptation, and the distribution of Chainsaw Man, the movie ResArc, as their current priority. Global market for anime is just dawning right now and will continue to grow by double digits for a while, he explained. That's super interesting. We are focused on growth markets. We want to do things that people are actually watching. We don't want anything to do with American live-action cinema right now, is the translation there. Because people are actually paying to go see these anime movies. Chainsaw Man is doing crazy good right now. Wrapping up with a critique on the entire corporate strategy of building content libraries via acquisition, Totoki lamented how, quote, many of the publishers that own the original works are unlisted after the original company is bought out, and they are not easy investment targets. It's important to, it's important to have cooperative relationships that foster original works, he said. So Sony gets it, even though they're also a giant soulless corporation. Sony gets it. I don't know that there's much else going on here that is really worth discussing. Reviewing movies for Halloween because the news is slow. Tell you what. The Immune's director says production was so traumatic that he never wants to make another X-Men film. Sure. That's good. You shouldn't. Director Chuck Russell thinks Jim Carrey could be an excellent Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that's a fun thought experiment, but I don't think that would ever happen. Channing Tatum explains the abandoned solo film for the Cajun could not be made due to its mature content. But then we got Deadpool. So, sure, that stands to reason. Adam Driver's working on, yep, and then we're into stuff that we've already talked about. Yep, and we're into things that, yeah, there's not a whole lot news-wise right now, nerds. Just not really going crazy. I'm in the wrong window. Let's talk a little bit of music. Blabbermouth usually has something good to report on, to cover. Kim Thal announces memoir. That's kind of cool. Bad Company, Moonspell, George Lynch. So glad to see Ozzy got to play last time. That's cool. Sabaton shares behind the scenes. LA Kings, 8-minute behind the scenes of Bruce Dickinson rendition of the national anthem. Shinedown music video for those that care. Sonic Temple. Ooh, all right. Update to the Sonic Temple lineup. All right, so let's go over this. These are the headlining artists to start. Do we have the rest of the bill? Yeah, we'll touch on the rest of the bill too. Okay. So Sonic Temple 2026. The dates are May 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th in Columbus, Ohio at Historic Crew Stadium. So Thursday, the first night, we have MCR, Pierce the Veil, and Breaking Benjamin. Not a day that I would care to see those headliners anyway. 15th, Friday, we have Shinedown, The Offspring, and Stained. Stained, sure. Offspring, slightly maybe, but that's about it. And Shinedown, not so much. Bring Me the Horizon starts Saturday. Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. I've seen Manson a couple of times. He's a hell of a lot of fun, but the other two, not so much. And then Sunday, the 17th, Tool, Godsmack, and Megadeth. Tool and Megadeth, sure. Godsmack, yeah, I saw them on Ozfest. That was all I needed. All right, let's go to the full lineup, shall we? There we go. We have, look like the stage breakdown, so can we not get a bigger version of this image? Open image in new tab. Let's go. And then we have to do this. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's going to be a little blurry, but we should be able to make that work. So, again, this is Thursday. We have one stage that seems to be all of the fun bands. Necrogoblicon, Suffocation, Flesh God Apocalypse, Napalm Death, Cattle Decap, sure, whatever. Dying Fetus, Cradle of Filth, and Behemoth. Yes, please. Count me in on that one. And then this is Pretty Wild, Windwalker, Nerve, what? Wind Waker, Windwalkers. Holding Absence. I don't know any of these bands. Magnolia Park and Dayseeker. I kind of know Dayseeker. And we have another stage that looks like it's full of fun bands. Disembodied Tyrant, Carnifex, Body Snatcher, Attila, Thy Art is Murder, and Whitechapel with Slaughter to Prevail as the headliner on that stage. That's pretty damn cool. That's a great stage right there. That's a good night. If you can catch that on tour, why would you not? And then we have the stage that Breaking Benjamin is headlining, so presumably this is going to be one that goes into the night. Rise Against, we have The Used, Flyleaf with Lacey Sturm, hell yeah, Fozzy, sure, whatever, and Egypt Central, whatever that is. And then the main stage appears to be Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Choke, Hawthorne Heights, no. Ellis Dunes, no. Coheed, meh. All Time Low, ugh. Pierce the Veil, no. MCR, no. All right, so then we're back to our first fun stage. We have Flaw, whom I haven't seen in a long damn time. I definitely haven't seen them since they rejoined and restarted making new music. Soil, Mushroom Head, Powerman 5000, Dope, Static X, and Severn Dust, with Zach Sabbath headlining that stage. For those that don't know, Zach Sabbath is Zach Wild's Black Sabbath tribute band. So I've kind of seen that stage in concert. I saw Dope, Static X, and Severn Dust on tour together. I've seen Powerman and Mushroom Head. No. I've seen Powerman and Mushroom Head separately. I've seen Flaw with Mushroom Head. There we go. That's what I was. I have not seen Soil, but I've definitely seen Flaw and Mushroom Head together, and I've seen Severn Dust, Static X, and Dope together. So that's fun. This stage that was not fun for the first day seems to be pretty fun for the second day. Don't know Left on Red, but Not Enough Space, no. Signs of the Swarm, hell yeah. Brand of Sacrifice, Chelsea Grin, Paleface Swiss, Kubla Khan, and Lorna Shore. That is definitely a fun stage on Friday. The Slaughter to Prevail stage for the second day, we have a bunch of metalcore, it looks like. Crown the Empire, The Word Alive, Bless the Fall, Atreyu, sure. Story of the Year is getting billed over Atreyu. That seems weird. And then Simple Plan. And then we get into the less fun stages. Oh, Lit and Everclear. Okay. Newfound Glory. No. Yellow Card. Probably not. Sublime. Sure. Offspring. Yeah, not likely. Buckcherry, Hinder, Dotree, Stone Temple Pilots. Oh, good Lord. That is white trash Christmas right there. Nothing against Stained, but Buckcherry and Hinder. Ugh. All right, so Saturday, again, fun stage. Butcher Babies, meh. CKY, sure. Snot, sure. Biohazard, yes. Carcass, yes. Creator, yes. Sepultura, Body Count with Ice-T, of course. And then this is our questionable stage. Novelists, I don't know. Alpha Wolf, sure. Make Them Suffer, yes. Ghost Inside, I guess. August Burns Red, hell yes. Amity Affliction, okay. And Architects, yeah, okay. Knuckle Puck, Citizen. This is the great lineup that they have, just kind of overall. It hits all of the things, right? So, excuse me. Motion City soundtrack, whatever. Mayday Parade, nah. Story So Far, meh. Manson, Bush, Alter Bridge, meh. Tom Morello, hell no. Coal Chamber, abso-freaking-lutely. All That Remains, yes. Bring Me the Horizon, pfft. Motionless in White, bigger. Pfft. Black Veil Brides, even bigger. Pfft. Plot in You. This is all garbage. Ugh. Like, so far, the only band that's really worth it up through Saturday on this main stage is kind of sort of Stained. I guess Stone Temple Pilots as well. Ugh, the rest of this, Bring Me the Horizon, is very much questionable. All right, so what do they got for Sunday? Castle Rat, Spirit World, hell yes. Windrose, Ailstorm, of course. Devil Driver, yes. Apocalyptica, abso-friggin-lutely. Dragon Force and Death Clock, sign me up. Take my money already. Drop Dead Gorgeous, Attack. Oh, boy. And then it becomes super questionable again. I don't know who the hell that's supposed to be. Dance Gavin Dance. This is like early 2000s Scene Kid stage on Sunday. Conquer Divide, Thornhill, okay. Throne, yes. Bloody Wood, yes. Polaris, sure. They're not bad. We Came as Romans is pretty damn good. Electric Callboy is a hell of a lot of fun. So that's, again, a solid stage. Second stage, the lead up to the main stage, we have Demon Hunter, In Flames, Anthrax, all amazing. Amon Amarth, abso-freaking-lutely. Public Enemy in the middle of all of that. That seems so ridiculous. Why would you put... Yeah, sure. And then Megadeth to come after Public Enemy. And then on the final day, on the main stage, Saliva, POD, Avatar. Ooh, Avatar's on the main stage. That's pretty cool. POD, sure. Black Label Society, popular, I guess. Lamb of God, absolutely. Godsmack, meh. And Tool, of course. Why would we not want to see Tool live? So, Sonic Temple is absolutely a pretty solid win. Probably not the best lineup they've had ever, but pretty solid win this year. If you're going, I would definitely say that like the first day, if you're not staying till the end, if you're not staying for main stage bands, the first day is worth it just for these two. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Do we have the mouse working right now? I don't think so. But yeah, at the Behemoth stage and the Slaughter to Prevail stage are stupid good. And then those same two stages on Sunday, and then kind of the rest of the show makes a little bit more sense on Sunday, except for our Scene Kid stage that just gets worse and worse. So let's continue on with music news. New Trivium drummer, Bad Omens, American tour. Oh, that Above Ground benefit tour apparently is playing live. Is it on YouTube? Oh, it totally is. Yeah. Above Ground 4 at the Fonda Theater was just a couple days ago. We talked about it on the last episode of the news show. So you can see exactly who plays. So this is it was two tributes to New York Dolls and to the Cars, right? So we have Personality Crisis, which was Corey Taylor, Steve Stevens, Billy Morrison, Matt McJunkins, Eric Eldenus, and Paul Trudeau. Corey Taylor was in quite a few of these. Billy Morrison. This is a lot of names that we're just not going to bore you with right now. Gilby Clarke. Ew. That looks like a lot of fun, man. So that would definitely be something worth watching. Again, Above Ground 4 streamed live from Memnock's Curse is the name of the channel that has the entire show up. That's cool. Nikki Sixx praises Raw and Real Ozzy Osbourne documentary. No escape from now. I loved him with the deepest part of my heart, he says. Yeah, because you both did Lines of Ants. Peter Frampton, PBS special. That's cool. Frampton Comes Alive, 50th anniversary. Goodness, that is an old record. I really didn't realize it was 50 years old. Oh, cool. Children of Bodom, Celebration of Music concert in Helsinki. Members of the legendary Finnish metal band Children of Bodom will celebrate the group's music on February 26th of next year, 2026, at the Tavastia Club in Helsinki. Tickets for the evening, dubbed A Celebration of Music, will go on sale October 29th, so tomorrow. Concert will feature original Children of Bodom members, bassist Henka, I'm not going to be able to say any of these names, Janne Verman, drummer Raska Ratalken, sure, and early guitarist Alexander Kupola, along with longtime friend Sani Elbana, known from the band Lost Society, paying tribute to Children of Bodom guitarist, vocalist, and main songwriter Alexi Lieho, who passed away in December of 2020 in his home in Helsinki, Finland. He died of alcohol-induced degeneration of the liver and pancreas connective tissue. Wow. He was a hell of a drinker. I mean, I knew it was that. I was related to his drinking. I just don't know if I ever read the proper breakdown of his diagnosis. Furthermore, Lieho had a cocktail of painkillers. Good. We don't need all of the gory details, guys. Come on now. Celebrate the life's work of our band and at the same time, musical legacy of our friend and bandmate Alexi. That's really cool. Gig will be played at Tavastia Club, which is important to Children of Bodom. At the same time, we will fulfill the long-standing wish of our fans. Yes. That is a really long article that we're not going to read because we already got the meat and potatoes out of it. I think we Yeah, I got. We might not. We might just be coming to the end of this part. I'll do a little bit of a stream today. Oh, there is a new avatar. I think I'm going to do a reaction to it because I heard a little bit of it today, and it sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. Or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. But yeah, new avatar song getting a lot of attention, so we'll probably do a reaction there. Kings of Thrash pay tribute to Ace Frehley with Cold Gin. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's where pre-show makeup experience is offering to fans on tour. I don't think it's ever been done before. All right, you got me. What's going on here? Recent interview with Riff Magazine, Mudvayne singer Chad Gray spoke about the special pre-show makeup experience he is offering to fans during the band's LD50 25th Anniversary Tour. I did not know about this when I went to see said LD50 25th Anniversary Tour. For $3,000, which I would not have spent, so that's probably why I did not hear about it, one fan can get, quote, real access, unquote, to Chad's personal pre-show world and watch him transform before hitting the stage. Also included is a custom solid silver Mudagram necklace from Room 101. That's cool. Personally signed by Chad and complete with certificate of authenticity. Chad told Riff about his pre-show ritual. The fan makeup experience is part of the process, man, and that process happens every single night. It takes 3 hours every night. And I don't think this has ever been done before. Like somebody giving to somebody this much of their time. I think that's the difference. I know there are people that do guitar giveaways and bass giveaways and stuff like that. You probably just hand off a guitar, take a picture, and that's it. This is actually, I get to sit and talk with them. That's cool. I don't know if I would pay $3,000 to have a conversation with somebody, but that's pretty cool. He continued, I did my first one last night. It was so great. The dude was funny. We listened to some of his music and did a bit of Q&A. Get to see the process about getting those appliances on that I wear on my face and just getting it all going. But I was actually really surprised at how far along I got in the makeup in the time that they were there. But they had a really great time, man. It was really, really cool. And yeah, there was just great people, and that's what I'm excited about. For me, if you're really a big Mudvayne fan, I totally am. I'm hopefully going to create a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Yeah, I would really freaking hope so for $3,000. Let's see if there's a picture of the Mudagram. We might have to mute this. Yeah, we're going to mute this and see if there is... Oh, it's all audio? Bite me. Bite me, go away. Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da. Yeah, okay. So, we're going to call that good enough. How long have we been going for? Let's go check the timer. Oh, I don't have my stats up. That's why. Ah! Where the hell did it go? I don't see it. Check here. There we go. Oh, hey, we got somebody else in the chat. Howdy, chat. Unfortunately, you just joined. For those of you that are just joining, you just joined as we're about to go for the mid-episode break. I have to feed the dogs. Well, it's a little early for... they'll be all right. Have to feed the dogs and get a little bit of liquid nourishment because my throat's drying out. And then we're going to come back and do a little bit of streaming. We've been going for an hour and a half. There it is. I found my timer. Hooray! So, we will be right back and do just a ever so slight amount of the stream and things. Okay. We are back and we're doing the thing. We're gonna go switch it up. Come here! Uh-oh. I think there's something wrong with the stream. Let's switch to studio mode. Go to game. Oh, no, that's not right. Browser. Gameplay. Where'd you go? I just saw you. Right there. There we go. Huzzah! All right, let's kick it. I'm going to do this relatively shortly, but we will do it nonetheless. Next season of Invasions has begun. We're in the season of the Soul Eater. Oh, so we're starting off today. I totally thought that was next week, but yeah, we're in the next season of Invasions, which means we're going to get a lot of quits, I bet. Let's go. Let's go. Combat League. Don't have any money, seasonal money. Oh, hold up. Let's go check. I didn't want that anyway. I want to go look at the store. What's in the store this time around, since we do have some dragon crystals? I said go away. Okay. We're going to go store. See if there's something worthwhile that we don't already have. It's been a long time since we streamed some Mortal Kombat. Technically is a Scorpion and Sub-Zero skin pack that I do not have. Do I care about the Dia de los Muertos skins, though? I have all the ones from this that I care to have. Like, do I want to be a completionist and get all of the Scorpion skins? I mean, yeah, that's kind of why I spent the money on the dragon crystals, so we might as well do the thing. Means I have approximately one more skin I can purchase. I'm not going to get the Sub-Zero Dia de los Muertos skin. Do I have anything in here that I haven't purchased from previous seasons for the usual candidates? Everything, everything, everything. Everything, everything. No extras for the DLC characters because why would you? Yep. Basically everything that I would buy, I have. So we'll go. Let's rock this. Let's do this. Let's go. Combatimus Ligamus. Wireless at 72? Sure. And it looks like it's a pretty solid low 70s connection. Nothing wrong with that. Sure. Oh, I don't understand how matchmaking works in Mortal Kombat. This is just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, uh-huh. Oh, of course it didn't come out. Why would it come out? Oh, nice lead. Slam bam. Let's go. Let's go. Ah, there he goes. Oh, but I ducked. For real? Okay. All right. All right. All right. Fine. Now that we know what he's made of, my hands are warming up, maybe. Yeah. For the sheer IRU, damn it. Oh, interesting. Now he's got full bar. Okay. Yep. All right. Now he wastes his full bar. Not going to let me poke out, is it? I'm not just going to stand there and look at him like a jackass either. I'm going to actually do something about it. Oof, my fingers are frozen. Making the whole button pressing a little slow. For real? How did that not hit him? Peace outside. For real? For real. For real. How did that not hit? Okay. Whatever. Whatever. That's stupid. Why can't I poke out of anything? Peace. And chicken grease, motherfucker. Dead ski. Wee. I told you that was going to happen a lot. It always does in the beginning of this. This one, though, he at least waited until the end of the round or the match. So can't say he didn't at least try, but some of them are going to quit at the end of round one. He was just so anxious to show how good he was. He got really disappointed when he wasn't that good. Oh, really? Oh, I guess it was 84, so I probably would have backed out too. Rule of thumb for ping is 70 and under for wireless, or 80 under 80 rather. and 90 is the top for wired. It starts there. I mean, it'll go up, but it gets in the 90 for wireless, we back out. If it gets over 100, if we can back out, we will back out for wired. I was 9,000 like a week ago. I was in the top 9,000, and I played yesterday and I dropped down to the top 13,000. That was crap. I don't know what the hell happened there. Ooh, that's a good Why? Why does that hit sometimes and not other times? Okay, okay. Oh, he's going to go for the grab, is he? Ah. What'd you say, baby?
I'll tell you something when you have a second.
Okay. Do it. Damn. Almost timed it, right? No, no. Okay. Ugh. I don't know why it doesn't turn around when I'm in the air, except for sometimes it does. I don't. There's no logic to that. All right, let's show him how to Motaro, shall we? Oh, thank you. Yeah, this hopefully will be. Oh boy. How? Why didn't? How is that even possible? There we go. Okay, just waste it. And waste that too. Not gonna kill me. It's gonna be really annoying, but it's not gonna kill me. Damn, seriously. All right. I was just gonna do one more because that's two, so I was gonna do three.
It's not that they have to pay. They don't have to pay. So the literature, I sent it to my mom, but I read it, and then I read it to my dad. And so, um, substantial repairs are what are being defined, and that's anything over $1,000. Dad said that Carol said there's $1,000 contingency on repairs. So I was like, I don't know. He's like, basically, he's saying you get $1,000 for repairs is what he was hearing that as. And I'm like, I don't think that's it. I think if my way of thinking is right, but I wasn't there to hear what she said. It's if there are repairs, but they're under $1,000 per issue, we don't get to claim anything. Right. So I said and he said, well, the repairs on the roof are definitely over $1,000. I said, so we have to have the inspector's report. All has to be done within 4 days of that inspector's report. So I don't know. The only thing is I don't know if it's from when the inspector inspected or when they gave you the report, which it should really be when they give the report. Um, but so it's per issue. It can't be cumulative. Right. Everything's over. Right. Per each issue, because Dad's like, it costs like $1,500 to tear that door out. So whatever the inspector's report is, that's what we're waiting on. We can't do anything till we have that. Right. Anyway. And the guy said he was really tired, so he wasn't going to get to it till we might get it tomorrow. But if there's an issue and it's over $1,000, then we have the right to make a written document, essentially. Make a written document stating what the estimate of repairs are for each repair, what it's estimated, which means we have to get contractors out and things. Or if my dad can, I said, well, you're probably gonna estimate it at less than what somebody. I guarantee they're gonna be like it's like my car. When I got a scratch on it, it was like $5,000. You know, they're gonna blow it out of the ballpark. But I said we can do whatever they'll accept. We submit that written statement saying these are the repairs, this is how much they're estimated, and if the owner decides to refuse, then we can get our good faith deposit back, and we can pull
hungry too. Okay, this microphone stand is not working super well, but we're going to do one more. Make sure, yeah, okay. So sorry for the noise, but yeah, we're going to do one more and then call it a night. So, I don't know what the issue was with that match. I'll have to go back and watch the replay or something. That was a little rough. Wireless at 100 millisecond ping. Wow, words. Wireless 84. Nope, it's not under 80. And then it jumped up to 87. Hell no. Wireless at 64. Yes, that is doable. Homelander. I hate Homelander. Homelander and Ghostface, I think, are the ones that drive me the most crazy. Oh. Slightly less annoying than Homelander, so there's at least that. Although all of his combo starters are mids, and I hate that. And he also hits like a brick wall.
They got dinner.
Huh?
They had dinner.
Yeah. Oh, good lord. There it is. There it is. I told you. I guess that was technically round 2, but still, I told you there would be a lot of those. So, that one doesn't count because we didn't even make it past the first match. No, 158 milliseconds. That's not where we're going at all. Kind of drives me crazy that they count anything over 100 as a green connection. Wireless at 90. Nope. As a good is what the green means, good. 100 milliseconds on a fighting game is a tenth of a second, approximately, if I'm doing my math right. Wired just under the line. Started at 89. All reptile? It looks like a reptile mane. The Heresy. Oh boy. And also, she bugs me a lot too, but not nearly as much as Homelander and Ghostface. Bazinga! Oh, why did I duck? I knew that was coming. Why did I even duck? Oh, okay. If I would have just blocked when I stood up, this wouldn't have happened.
Ow.
I ducked it. Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No. No.
Do the old switcheroo. Oh, good lord. Ah, I knew it. I knew it was coming again. Mm. Chipped me down. Ah. Really? Yeah, chip me out again. Son of a bitch. All right. That is where we're calling it, I suppose. He's so naughty.
You're eating sugar
Yeah.
and carbs for dinner.
All right, nerds. Switch. There we go. So, don't know when the next live stream is going to be, but we are done with regular episodes. So they are only going to be live streams at least until from now until the end of the year. There will also be at least 2 weeks of darkness between now and the end of the year. We got the last week of November, the last week of December, both, and then a few things in between, I'm sure. So I will keep you posted on the community tab and on the socials, and we will just take it from there. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you eventually next time. Before we go, always remember that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.